Dune Part 2 is the conclusion to the blockbuster adaptation of Frank Herbert's first novel in the Dune series, directed by Denis Villeneuve once again, and also again starring Timothée Chalamet as Paul Atreides, who is allied with a native group called the Fremen, who all seek to take down the House of Harkonnen, who plan to enslave the planet of Arrakis, also known as Dune, and snuff out the entire Atreides clan once and for all, with Paul and his mother, played by Rebecca Ferguson, as they try to also fulfill a prophecy that the Fremen mostly believe in, that Paul might be the Messiah who will lead them to many more centuries of peace. Helping Paul along the way, alongside his mother, is Chani, played by Zendaya, Stilgar, played by Javier Bardem, Gurney, played by Josh Brolin, and then you've got all of the bad guys as part of the House of Harkonnen, such as Dave Bautista as Beast Rabin, Austin Butler playing Feud Rafa, and then Stellan Skarsgård as the big bad Baron Harkonnen. Alongside them, you've got the other supporting cast with Florence Pugh as the princess and Christopher Walken as the emperor. Like many people, I saw the first film back in 2021, though I watched it when it came on HBO Max because of COVID. Though some of you guys might have actually seen it in theaters, which probably would have been pretty cool for some of the visuals that were in the first film. But it was nice seeing this film in theaters, as it looked pretty cool, even with the more smaller screen of my local theater, which is not, really big, but still, felt massive enough. And Denis Villeneuve still captures some of that magic he put into the first film. Though there is a lot more desert imagery, because Paul and the gang is now just fully on Arrakis, so you don't have some of the more unique visuals like on the other planet where Paul and his family lived initially. But we do get little bits of the homeworld of the Harkonnen family, which is made to look like a black and white, which is really, really cool. So it's not like it's just desert, but it's a lot of desert. But it's still good looking enough. The cinematography, which I think is sort of the visual, so that's good. The direction is pretty good in itself. The actors do a pretty good job. I don't know if there's really moments where the actors are not selling it, other than little bits where Timothée Chalamet sounds like either his regular self or just like Willy Wonka, but only in little bits. Other times he sounds pretty serious and like this character. Zendaya also sells it pretty well as a supporting actor alongside Timothée Chalamet for the majority of the film. Everyone else is selling it pretty well, including the newer additions to the cast like Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, and Christopher Walken. So, some good talent here. The music is decent. I don't know if it's like my favorite aspect of the movie. It does have the quirks of a movie soundtrack that aren't like my favorite, especially when I mentally combine it with movies that try too hard, like, some Zack Snyder stuff, but other than that, this movie is pretty good. Though the question that I've asked a lot with movies lately is it worth 3 hours? Because this movie is 3 hours and like 1 minute. At least that's what the movie theater website told me, basically. So yeah, the first part was like about 2.5 hours. This one's 3 hours, which is a lot of time. It doesn't feel too much like 3 hours. It's just kind of in the middle where it's slightly slow, but other than that, it picked up, and I'm happily surprised that the climax actually, went by in a pretty good amount of time. It's not too drastic of an amount of time that could have been added or cut out. I think it works enough, though obviously you guys can disagree or not, because not everyone likes a 3 hour movie, which is fair. I would say that something like Oppenheimer almost has more necessity for 3 hours, but this almost has that. Same with other films like The Batman. Just enough of a necessity. That's all what I'll say. Of course, the biggest thing about Dune is the world building, the amount of, politics, sort of discussion on faith and ideology, all of that sort of stuff that they have to put into 2 different movies, all from a book that's like over 400 pages, full of dense world building. And I haven't read the book, but I know it's like really dense in that aspect, which is a little intimidating. But for these movies, it mostly eases me in, other than some moments where I'm like, what's going on? But other than that, I just kind of let it happen. I don't worry too much about not fully following everything. I mean, I could easily ask him, but I went to see this with my brother, and he didn't watch part 1, and yet, as far as I know, he followed most of it alright, didn't ask me questions afterward, so I guess, mission somewhat accomplished, but again, I don't know how it went with everyone else, but, that's just me. All in all, this was a pretty good movie, though I feel like there'll be other movies this year that I'll enjoy more in terms of enjoyment, not truly like quality or objectiveness, just kind of what, my opinion on what entertains me and what speaks to me. But for now, this is a pretty good start for 2024. First movie I've seen in the theater, and hope I can see some more and review them for you. I'm gonna give Dune Part 2 an 8 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed this review for Dune Part 2. Let me know what you thought about the movie. Maybe also check out some of my other stuff on my channel. I like to do book content and some movie and TV stuff, so check some of that out. Like, comment, and subscribe if you can, and take care. Goodbye.